It's Workshop Wednesday, so that means rules, and rules means talking about actions and all these sub-actions that there are in Dungeons & Dragons. So let's get into that. Welcome back, fellow Game Masters. I'm Richard Quiner, and today is Workshop Wednesday, which is a miscellaneous catch-all, and today we're talking about actions, bonus actions, free actions, and reactions in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. All of these various actions mainly take place during combat, or time-sensitive moments in the game. So if you're just having a nice break, these won't really come into play because you don't need to. There's no time crunch. But if you're in a combat situation where there are more strict rules about how things works, actions, bonus actions, free actions, and reactions all come into play in different ways. So let's break down what they all are and how they work. First up on the list are actions. Now, actions are kind of the thing that take up the most time in any combat or time crunch situation. If you think about combat in the game as each person's turn is about 6 seconds, or it's a very small, quick happening, even though it takes longer at the table, these happen very shortly. An action, I would say, would take about 5 of those 6 seconds, so it's a good portion of time. So what actually makes up an action? Well, in the rule books, they actually talk about attacks, most spells that you're going to cast as a spellcaster, taking disengage actions, dashing, which is basically a double movement that you can do, readying an action to use later, and searching for something and hiding. These kind of things that are big movements, big things you need to do during your turn are actions, and they will always be such. Now, bonus actions are similar to actions, and they are doing something, and you are making progress or, taking an action, but they're something that takes a lot less time. You could consider these the extra 1 second of those. So you use 5 seconds for an action, the extra second would be a bonus action. But here's the twist with bonus actions in Dungeons & Dragons, is not everyone gets to use them. Bonus actions are very contextual in the game. They're usually used for spells. Some of the spells are listed as taking a bonus action to cast, which is very quick, or they can be related to items and what those items can do, or they can be related to classes. More often than not, it's a class thing to use a bonus action. The most prevalent bonus action that I can think of comes from the rogue class, because that's what I play mainly, and it's called the cunning action, which means a rogue can use a bonus action to dash or disengage or hide. But in the rules, it specifically gives the rogue permission to use the bonus action. Not all classes have this permission. They have other things that might let them do more on a turn, but a bonus action is very contextual, so make sure as you're using bonus actions that you know that you can for sure use them in your turn. Free actions are even smaller or faster than bonus actions, and these are entirely at your Game Master's discretion. Like all rules, actually. If I retcon that a little bit, all rules are at your Game Master's discretion, so what they decide takes an action or a bonus action is really up to them and the table. But a free action, I like to think of it as something that can be done while you're doing something else. If a player is moving and they want to pick up a piece of a rock that's on the ground, that would be a free action for them to use. It's something interacting with the environment, maybe saying something. But my kind of rule of thumb is if you can do it while doing something else, it's free action, and that's fine with me. And the last of these rules of actions are the reaction. Now, reactions are a little different in that you don't actually use a turn or a time of your turn to use them. Reactions are a skill or ability that comes into play as a direct response to a specific trigger that may or may not happen during your turn. Thus, reactions can happen at any time. It could be your turn, and then 5 people later, a reaction could happen. But reactions are generally defined by an ability or a specific rule. One of the most common rules that gives you a reaction is called the opportunity attack, which means if an enemy is in your space and attacking you, and they decide to move out of your space and leave the fight, you can attack them if they do not disengage. Another very specific reaction that also comes from the rogue lifestyle is called uncanny dodge, which means if I get attacked by someone I can see, I can use my reaction to take half the damage from that attack. So you can see how reactions can be very powerful in a game if used correctly, but here's the side note of reactions is once you use one, you can't use a reaction again until it's your turn again. So use them wisely. You get to pick when they come into play, but the trigger has to happen in order for you to use them. So that breaks down actions, bonus actions, free actions, and reactions for you for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. I know these are pretty basic, they're very simple information, But the main reason I wanted to talk about them is because it comes into play for every other rule coming up, and all the spells. Like, I have my Spellslinger Saturdays, and that uses actions and bonus actions quite a bit, so you'll need to know that information moving forward. So if this has been helpful, hit the like button. If you like the videos and the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you don't like them, then I'm sorry, I guess. But if you do, hit the subscribe button. Come back next time for more videos, more information. I've been Richard Quiner, and thank you for watching.